Everybody, it's Kathy Boyle, president of Chapin Hill Advisors. Today, we're introducing another member of our Circle of Influence. Our Circle of Influence is designed so that you can find experts in various fields and services, and you can trust these experts. They will deliver what they tell you they will do. Very often, you can make a mistake with an expert. You're in a hurry, you get a friend or colleague's recommendation, and you run with it without doing enough due diligence. Finding the right expert is not only a matter of technical expertise, but is there a fit personality-wise, cadence of speech, language? Do they deliver things the way you understand them? So today we're going to talk to Nalini Goolsarran, Edge Space Marketing. And she's in a very crowded field: website design, digital marketing, social media. Again, tons of people, but tons of people don't deliver. So Nalini, let's talk about you and what makes you unique.
Sure. Hi, everyone. So, Edge Space Marketing was founded on the premise that small businesses need an edge in this world. Being the backbone of the economy, many marketing firms, web development, bigger companies, they all overlook the small businesses because, from a business perspective, everybody wants the large clients. I take the time to try to find the small clients that really need help to revamp their presence or create one because, as Kathy mentioned, oftentimes they don't even have a website or it's not functional. So, what we do is we go through and figure out what are your goals, how do you want to get there, and how do we get your clients to your website and your social media so that they can find you and you tell the messages that you want.
I love it. I think that you're playing such a critical role. Now let's talk about that process from the get-go, because I think very often website designers really don't think about talking to the client about what's your goal, what are you trying to do? You're trying to drive traffic to the website. Are you using it as sort of a authentication? Are you selling something on it? So what's your process like on the front end?
So the first thing we start with is trying to figure out, like you mentioned, what are their goals? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you looking to get more clients? Are you looking for conversions? What are those conversion points? That's so important because that times people think that they want people to fill out a form and the form's missing from the website. So if we know what that is, we start with that in mind. We also try to figure out from a functionality perspective, is there something you really want and you're really looking for on your website? Early on, I had clients that they love the website to a point and they're like, it's not quite what I was looking for, only to find out they wish that they had an Instagram feed or they had a box that jumped up. And so I start by figuring out what is the functionality you want. So we design around that. Some folks, a color is the most important thing. I had a client where purple was her color and that we had to make sure we designed with that in mind. She didn't really care about much else. And so once we know what your priorities are, then we get into messaging. What is your content? What do you have on hand? Did you write it? Did a copywriter write it? And then we take it and we put a marketing spin on it. We figure out, does it really resonate with your target audience? Does it compete with what your competitors are saying? Is it too technical, right? Those are some things that can easily turn off your audience if you're speaking in a language that they don't understand and they can't relate to. We also try to figure out, what is your message, right? What are the things that you really need to tell them right up front? We have two things that happen with websites: information overload from the very beginning, or information, what I call underload. It's probably not a real word, but it's just not enough content. It's just saying, hey, I'm here. And that's great, but you need to say something as well. And so we really work with you to figure out, who do you want to talk to? How do we get them to your website? And then when they get there, what do we need them to do?
Got it. All right, that's wonderful. And again, very valid points. When I go to websites, I'm trying to validate people and find out who's on their team, and the team isn't there, or there's no location. Where are you located physically? Sometimes I want to know that. I want to know if you're in California or Connecticut or New York. So I think it's an important service. Now let's talk about social media, digital marketing, SEO. Is that all part of the one package? Do you do the whole thing? Do you parcel it out? Does it depend very much on the client?
So it's very much dependent on the client. What we do is we figure out, what are your goals and what is your budget? Because oftentimes, especially in the small business nonprofit space, budget is the driving factor. And when budget's not a driving factor, it's more of, again, the goals. If you have a certain amount of money and I'm doing everything on social media where we're driving them to a non-functional website, we should talk about switching your budget so that you rebuild the website so it functions better before you focus on social media. And then we can give you a plan to carry that forward so you're not just left in a lurch trying to figure that out. Social media marketing, web development, SEO, they're all part of what I call your digital marketing ecosystem. They all work together to get people to your website.
Got it. Okay. And then in this market, you mentioned content. So you can take content from the client themselves, something that they prepare, and you'll help make it more digestible. How about design, graphic design? What's that process like?
So from a graphic design standpoint, we don't actually graphic design for websites. I get this question very often. How are you building a website and you're not graphic designing anything? Because it's not mobilely responsive. You graphic design a square that has text that's hard coded on the square. That square, when it goes on the mobile device, becomes illegible. It's too tiny for you to read the font. So I'm layering the elements in to make sure that they are mobilely responsive, because that's what we want to do, mobile first. Now, if you do need graphic design for brochures or logos, those kind of things, we'll send you off to one of our partners so that you can see if that's a good fit. As Kathy mentioned earlier, personality, design, expertise should be your choice. So we don't subcontract it. We actually send you out to other small businesses so that we can continue to grow the small business network.
Perfect. All right, wonderful. So you're in Stamford, Connecticut, but you work with people all over the world. So
Mhm.
how do we find you?
edgespacemarketing.com, or you can just Google Edge Space Marketing. My SEO is working, so you can find us. We're also on all social media platforms. If you search for Edge Space MKTG, you'll be able to find us.
Wonderful. We love having you in our circle of influence. Thanks, Nalini.
Thanks, Kathy.